company from up to 15 people can generate up to $5 million per year.
What is digitalization and what is different from digital transformation?
Software actually automates all of the processes that could be routine.
The market changed drastically and it will never get back again.
This is about finding a right partner to bring the great synergy together.
Hi everyone, glad to see you on our channel. On our last video we mostly talk about startups, so today we decided to dig deeper a little bit onto the so-called business digitalization, because it may seem that the only people who work in digital world, they do something from scratch, but in real life it is not. So usually people have businesses and they need to update it, and because of that they used digitalization. So today with me is Andriy. Andriy is a CEO and founder of software development company called LinkUp Studio. For already 8 years, they help entrepreneurs to build successful digital product and gain technology advantage. Hi, Andriy.
Yeah, hi, Oksana. Thank you for such great explanation of who I am. And truly, so today we have the great topic. I would say like this, and you see, this is the tough word, even for the native speaker, I believe. So again, digitalization is must have in nowadays. You just can't survive without that. And those who don't agree most probably need just to stop this podcast or video just right now. Because, well, that's what you get every day. And the great example of it, so we feels like we finally trying to get off those horrible COVID time. But if you will roll back 1 year ago, you will understand that those people who already had some kind of the plans online, who already work on their digitalization, they had ability to adapt much more faster. So actually no one knew that that shit is coming to us, but those who already had in mind some kind of the software development, some kind of e-commerce movement, they survived, and some of them even become much more better they was before. So again, digitalization is a must right now.
Yes, I agree with you. And before we move deeper into this topic, I would like to start off from defining a few terms. So actually, what is digitalization and what is different from digital transformation? Digitalization is about implementing technology into your existing businesses to improve processes, build a new revenue model, and provide value-producing opportunity. On the other hand, digital transformation is about integrating technology into all areas of your business, fundamentally changing how you operate and bring value to your customer. To make it more simpler, let's take a look into the history and on the home video market, which drastically changed in 2008. So in 2005, it was a peak of CD, DVD, and Blu-ray discs. They reached, they had around 74% of the market, and their sales reached $16 billion. It was a huge market. So, and everything have to be great, if not, great recession happened. So, crisis, it is extremely hard period for the people when they change their behavior, when they have to change their models of life, and when they have to adapt and look for some alternatives. And after the Great Recession happened, people have adopted to purchase film online. And once people move from physical world to digital world, they will not get back to the DVD again. So as a result, between 2008 and 2011, the sales have down to 42%. So the market changed drastically and it will never get back again. So this is the power of digitalization. And talking about digital transformation, the great example is streaming services. In this type of businesses, technology sets the rules of how company operates. They collect data about how customers interact and how they behave on their platform, and based on this, they create individual advertisement, custom messages to the client, and actually write their sales by this type of business models. So since 2011, such companies as Netflix and HBO rate their sales to 1,300%. So it is huge numbers. And so to make a summarize like what I have said, so digitalization is about implementing technology into your existing businesses. Like firstly, we had a DVD which we sell in shops. Right now, we're selling movies on online platform. And digital transformation, it's when you make things in different new digital way, like Netflix do.
Well, this is actually the great example, and I have another example from our business of digitalization and digital transformation. Not to break the NDA, one of the company that located in New York, their business is about to get hundreds of inquiry every day from the people around. And what they need to do, they need to proceed that requirements and depend of information they have, they need to move it to the next step and then operate it again and again. And there are like few, like up to 10 different steps that you're supposed to do with that inquiries. And each of that step may have different results. You need to send back, you need to tell that form was not properly filled in, and so on and so on. And imagine like hundreds of inquiries every day. In case you would heard that somewhere in the beginning of 20th century, you're supposed to have like hundreds of employees that are daily working every day, hardly not to miss something. And in case they miss something, well, they can have a penalty by the law. So right now, that company has only up to 10-15 people, employees, and they can do it. Why? Because they use software that was developed by LinkUp Studio, right? How they do it? Well, software actually automates all of the processes that could be routine, basic analysis, basic decision making, and only in case software cannot make its own decision. And by the way, I'm not even talking about artificial intelligence, just simple, developers will understand if programming, right? And in case software cannot solve inquiry automatically, well, then someone do it manually, but then they set up a rules that next time the same situation will happen automatically. And in that way, it just automates their business completely. And just to make everyone understand how serious it is, company from up to 15 people can generate up to $5 million per year, just because with good digitalization and good software, basically, good software. So this is the good example of digitalization. You see, I almost tell this word correctly, right? And the second example is digital transformation. Another project that we have, it's called massview.com, and those who have some business on Amazon, you should check it. You definitely should check it. Short seconds for the advertising. But what that business is about, it's giving the dashboard for the Amazon sellers to promote their products. So for example, you wanted to sell something, and before you do it, you would like to understand what is popular right now. Again, a stupid example about the COVID-19. In the beginning of COVID-19, masks was popular, right? And what you can do with that service? You can go there, search for the most popular product, trying to sell them, so you can become the seller. Or you have already existing product which you sell on the Amazon, and suddenly they go down to the rating. So you can start a campaign there which will make your product go up into rating and grow your sale. So the campaign can be different. There are variety of examples how a product, how Massview encourage users to write the review, making the video reviews, and it automatically make your product to grow on the Amazon. But why it's the good example of the digital transformation? Because that business exists on something that never happened before digitalization. Like Amazon itself is the huge business. It's a huge digital transformation, but now we have examples when everything is built upon on this. And well, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, world changing around us, and there's a dozen of examples around us, and I just choose 2 of them. We work with more than 100 companies who do it every day and get their results, and their revenue are growing and growing. And well, we don't know when it's going to end. Maybe never. Most probably never.
Interesting example, and for sure, as I see that 2 of them are fully different. So like one, it is about like businesses which already existed and we need to update it and make it more like automated, like
Yes.
the first one which you told, and the second one is something fully new. So as I understood, there is no like exact instruction, you know, of how to make exactly your business digitalization, and it is because every business is a unique entity with its own goals, with its own technology background and needs. So based on my experience communication with business owners, I can tell that there are 3 types of businesses like who wants to digitalize. So the first one, it is someone who already have some platform, like some technology platform which they are using, but they developed it like 10 years ago, like they worked, but it is already a time, you know, to make it better, to reinvent it again, like on the better technology to make them more efficient, more productive. So it is one type, and you need to make something like upon the existing business. The second one is clients who using packaged software, you know. It is very often happens with a business who use some CRMs. For example, they use some hotspots and kind of this stuff, and they come to the point when they understand that if they will develop something customly, it will make more value to the business. So they will not need to pay for subscription, and they can customize the functionality wherever they want, like to make their business more efficient. So, and the third part, the third type of the people, it is this one who have some good platform already which work for the business, and they need to upgrade it and scale it and add like new models, like update it a little bit and actually make it bigger to scale this system. So how do you work with all this type of the different type of the businesses, and like with their technologies which they have, which they use, how you connect this together with your own one?
You know, actually on the previous record, I told that communication is a key. Well, that's true. And here first of all, we starting to listen to the people, and we trying to analyze what they are doing and why they are doing. And there are few very important steps and few very important approach that we are using to understand those. Like, first of all, we doing the market research, and market research not in the sense of competitors, but in the sense maybe someone already solved that problem. Maybe we don't need to develop the software from the scratch to help someone digitalize their business. It's very important. We once had the case when someone asked us to build the custom CRM for them to manage their employees and to manage their orders. And at the end of the day, I just showed them Google spreadsheets. And that's it. We solved it. And well, you know, by that I saved them at least $20,000. And this is, I believe, the right approach of the company who are professional in the digital transformation things, because you don't need to develop or reinvent a wheel every time. You first need to analyze, see what you have and what simple things you can do to have the greater impact on the business. And only after that, you need to start thinking about building your own software. This is the only right strategy. Don't try to spend a lot of money before you actually need it. So I will try to explain how we analyze those businesses. We obviously, as I told, doing the marketing research to find something existing. We are trying to set up the responsibility structure, to understand responsibility structure inside of that company and have discussion with all key figures. CEO, obviously, all key employees. And the funny fact about that sometimes you realize that understanding of founders or CEO of company are totally different from the actual things that happen that employee telling you about. And you need to drive this. I mean, you need to explain to CEO that, you know, man, your vision is great, but your employees telling kindly different things, and you need to find those match between each other. So that's the task for the professional communicator, negotiator, to make even inside of their organization understand each other. What else we do, and this is must thing, we always give like two people to make this analysis. One is a business analyst, obviously, and second one is UI UX designer, and that's a critical part here. Why? Because look around, things supposed to be beautiful. In case you do ugly things that are not comfortable, and when I tell beautiful, I doesn't mean beautiful in a sense of color or, you know, some funny things.
Aesthetic.
I mean in the sense of how good it in usage, like user experience. It's not about, you know, colors and funny whistles and bells. So always BA plus UI UX designer, because only those two people can find the new way of doing things better. Only that minimum assignment of the team can give the biggest impact. And that's exactly what business need when they are starting to do their digital transformation or digitalization, because that's cost money. And you need to be extremely wisely how do you spend that money. So that's why, you know, again, minimum team, understanding as much as possible and finding the solution. So that's I believe some kind of our unique approach what we are doing.
So as I can assume, in order to start, like to know how to do digital transformation or digitalization of your business, you actually have to start doing something. So it is not about like sitting under the computer and thinking about like how I have to make digitalization of my business, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. When I was preparing for this topic, I have surfing around and reading different articles, blogs, surveys, and I have faced common fears of people in front of digitalization. And there is one topic which I really want to discuss. Sometimes it seems that when people hear the word digitalization, they immediately imagine the movie Terminator. And they think that in the future, all people like will be replaced with the machines. And yes, surveys told that around 50% of United States jobs can be replaced by machines. But let's take a look on it from another angle. It is, yes, jobs are affected by the automation, but it is not about the jobs to be replaced. It's about a task within a job that may be replaced. And to prove it, let's get back again to the history. In 2008 and 2009, no one sector has been affected from digitalization such as the banking sector. And yet, there are more people working in banking sector in the USA today than ever before. But what they're doing today are fully different from what they did before crisis. And digitalization gives people more time for creativity, more time for problem thinking, more time for intuition, and more time for innovation, and less time for routine. So it is not about substitution of people by machines, it's about giving people ability to be people and thinking with their brains. Because as we know, the 21st century give us fully different tasks which we have to solve, which really need brain and creativity. It is not about routine work.
Agreed.
So in your experience, where business faces the most problem when they go into digitalization?
You see, that's funny, but the most thing they afraid of, it's not about problem, because each business has different problem, like starting from how to make it technically to at least understanding of the area. But the common fear that I believe almost everyone share, is some kind of the losing control of their businesses. When you go to digitalization, when you hire an agency who help you do this, or even in case you hire your own team, they all afraid of the losing control, and they all afraid of being dependable for IT guy, you know. They're afraid to be dependable from that nerd guy with glasses, which is obviously a very stereotypic thing about developers, which is obviously not true. But that's something I would say the most thing. And what we are doing in the Link Up, we're trying to give our partners the feeling of independency all of the time. And the funny thing about this is, the more you're trying to be transparent and explain them that no, we don't control your business, we just helping you to run it more efficient, and you still owe it. You're not dependable from us, and that you can do a lot of things to do like that. Like in case, starting even from the code, in case you write in the proper code, then any other developer can handle it after you. In case you write in the proper documentation, any other shop can handle it after you. And more you do like this, more chances you have to work with the same partner longer and longer, because they appreciate that fact. And I believe this is great thing about this. And in case you are about to start your business digitalization, don't be afraid. You just need to find someone who will help you, who have experience in that, and it's always the match. You got someone on one side who know the domain area very well, and you got someone else who know the IT sphere very well, and then you plus one give you 4, 5, 10 billions most usually. It's just about the right partner.
Okay, and what I would like to say, people always think about technology as lost of their monies. I will put my money and I don't know like what I will have from it. But I'm always talking that technology, it is investments, and you have to think that technology, it is like your employee. If you want your employee to progress and to bring more value to your business, you have to invest in it. And actually, it is an investment. It is not like spending of the money. And question which I have to you, it's next one. Let's imagine that you are business owner. Yeah, I know that you actually are, but let's imagine that you are a business owner of some ordinary business, for example, some printing one. And you decided in one moment, you were sitting on the chair in your beautiful house and were thinking like, how to digitalize my business? Where you will start, like if you will be on his place?
Okay, well, first of all, I need to just break down your fairy tale a little bit, because usually that moment doesn't happen. I mean, most probably you have the beautiful house, but that moment doesn't happen there. That moment happens when competitors kick in your ass, So that decision is hard, I believe, because that's something new, and that's something that you don't know what's going to happen. And even in case you already have some kind of e-commerce store or whatever, some major changes is still changes, and everyone afraid of the changes, which is normally. And you mentioned that I'm also the business owner. We also have some gaps for digitalization. In case right now I'm using the paper book, those who don't see me, and I'm supposed to use the laptop, and that's also digitalization, some kind of, right? But again, answering for your question, where I need to start from, as I am the business owner of ordinary business. Well, first of all, you need to allocate the time. You need to understand that you can't just hire someone, find someone. And again, it doesn't matter inside of your company or outsource. It doesn't matter. You need to allocate time by your own. And by time, it's also mean resources, not money. Time. You need to explain to those people. You need to let somebody dive into your business and understand how it works and why it works like that. And this is another challenge, because you need to be really transparent. In case you will hide something from those people for whatever reason, they will not bring you the best solution. So this is about finding a right partner to bring the great synergy together. I believe I use this word a lot of time, but that's actually the truth. It's very simple, and very hard and tough in the same time. So you need to be open-minded. During those processes, you may realize that some of the business processes supposed to be totally changed. And why one very, very important topic here. Digitalization or digital transformation is not about just, hey, let's create an app. An app will solve everything. No, you need to create an app with thinking about business. How that app's supposed to be implemented in the business. Like, very simple example, when you come to the petrol, you're thinking that, well, the user story, let's call it like this, it's very simple. You came out of the car, you put the gun inside of, I hope the gun is the right word, right? Inside of the car, and then you fuel it with the oil, right? But you don't even think about that somewhere, some software starting to calculate how much liters or how much gallons you put in. Someone see how you need to pay. There are some logistic behind to get that petrol to the station, and all of that kind of stuff that you never think about. So when you're business owner, you need to think about, and then you need to find the right places where the software give you the biggest impact. Because it's very easy to spend dozens of dollars into developing some cool, well-designed, very beautiful program, and in the end of the day, your employees don't use it because they tell them, well, you know, our real life is not like that. Your software just not covered our requests. You need to allocate time. You need to be open-minded and transparent to that team with whom you will be working. For example, we have the great practice in LinkUp with one of our customers with who we actively working on his digitalization and even right now already in digital transformation of his business. We have the great practice. We have weekly calls, which is separate from our regular development calls, where we discussing the business goals. Each week we align, does those things that we are working right now make sense for his business, and we are making decisions, maybe we are moving the wrong way. And this is something that is very different from startups, that in startups you usually have some kind of the plan up front, and just in case in digitalization you also need to have a plan, but things are different. In the startups, you have nothing and you build something from the scratch. In the business, you implement an innovation based on some kind of the existing things. And this is, more risky thing, because wrong movement, too much money in some field that not supposed to be there, and business can collapse. Well, you need to work with someone who understands how to know this and who are very carefully, and that's called lean, right? With lean method, we'll implement all of that changes. So again, to summarize, answering to your question, what I would recommend to someone who just starting that, find the right partner, know your plan, and focus only on that things that will generate you back value as soon as possible and as much as possible. Then take the money and go to the next step. Don't try to change everything at once. I mean, you can have in mind to change the whole platform, and this is great, but before you need to be sure that your business can survive till that point when you release that new platform, which is like totally fine.
Very interesting point which you said about this business goals weekly calls.
Yep.
Like where you're discussing with the client like how your system influence on his business, like if this work which you do with your company actually makes sense for him.
Yes, and sorry for interrupting, but once we even had the case when we just stopped in the middle of some kind of the big new functionality because something changed on his business field, and he just don't need it anymore. And that's it.
But
and
it is very
and
cool.
it makes no sense to, because developers, they like, we need to finish a sprint. No, you don't, because business don't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And you need to stop.
Yeah.
You need to make the hard stop, change very quickly, be very flexible, focus on new goals, and move forward.
Cool. This is really very cool approach of making business digitalization, when you can be agile and like just change your direction in one moment.
You must be,
Yeah.
otherwise you die.
Okay, so guys, let's summarize like what we have for today, and I have noted a few points, like based on our conversation, which digitalization can bring to your business. So the first one, it is increased productivity and lower cost of operational cost. So organization can lose around 20 to 30% of annual revenue because of inefficient processes, which can be automated. It saves your employer's time. In a regular office, workers spend around 2 hours a day for some routine task, which can be automated. So let's give them this time to create something, to create some new values for the customer, to think about business.
Yeah.
Or just relax. Yeah, I think it will be more valuable for the business than just like making routine work that actually computer can do today.
Yep.
It increases business scalability. So manual issuing of 10 invoices is not the same as issuing like 1,000 invoices. And when you have system in place, like you can have like just one person who controlling this process. And the last one, but not the less important, it is enhanced customer experience and build loyalty to your brand. So companies with a customer experience approach make revenue 4 to 8% higher than this one who don't do this. So care about your customer. I always told, if you want to care about your business, care about your customer. So, and you will succeed. Yeah. Thank you for helping me. And okay, guys, thank you very much for watching us. We are finished for today, and I hope that you find some interesting information from us. And from Andrei actually told really cool stories of the real project and real cases of business digitalization. And hope you will look on it from another side of the point. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.